Hey folks, it's Scott at the XFed Homestead. Well, a few videos ago I told about replacing my shed and that I'd be doing a video on that. So even though the film's from a month or so ago, I'm going to put that out today. So I hope you enjoy that video. Today's project is taking down the old shed. Now, this shed behind me is something I just gerrymandered together from bits and pieces of old temporary sheds. And I put a corrugated roof on it, plastic roof, to make it last a little longer. And it's been there for a number of years now, lasting. And I have one to replace it now. So now it's time to get into destruction mode and get to work. My neighbor across the street bought himself a nice big shed that he had offloaded on a truck, and his temporary shed, which is similar, a bigger model than two of these small sheds combined. So it is 10 by 16 or so, and almost brand spanking new. And so essentially I traded to him for some firewood, which worked out. He's a good guy and was thinking of me when he decided he was going to get rid of that temporary shed. So I'll put it here in the back of the yard. It'll be a little bigger, give me a little bit more room to maneuver, and it'll get rid of this eyesore of a shed that's been in the backyard, fairly hidden from the world. But in the winter, when the leaves fall off the trees, it's a little bit of an eyesore, especially to me in the house. So I'm much appreciative to my neighbor Mike and his wife Stephanie. I'm gonna work on emptying this thing out. That'd be a prize-winning mushroom somewhere, huh? Now I gotta be careful of these screws. I don't want to let them get loose in the dirt here, because I'll be driving my lawnmower in here, and that'll avoid some future problems. Well, I'm going to have to get up on top here and unscrew the piece that's holding the two slabs of roof together. So that'll be fun. So like every project on the homestead, something has to be done before you can do the next thing. And before I can get up on the roof to loosen those screws up there to take the roof pieces off, I've got to move this rolled up fencing I've had here stored here, and I want to put that over to the side, but that's where the pumpkins were growing. So I've got to remove the pumpkin vines now that I'm done with the pumpkin patch here. There's some volunteer tomatoes still going until the next frost, so I'll leave those here, but I'll make a little room, get rid of the vines, throw them over there in the compost, move the fencing, get up on the roof, one thing after the other. So we'll proceed logically with the project, but it's always more work than you thought, right? So, it's okay. Get to it. Now I've got some space to get up on the roof. Well, I know this is going to fall this way if I lean that way anymore. So I'll just get a bigger ladder, that's all. Not worth breaking something. All right, only 3 more to go. Well, I've got one section of roof off, and the thunder clouds are heading in, and I can hear the thunder coming. I'm thinking I'll finish this off. It'll be easier because I have that hole in the roof that I can pop my head up through and reach the peak of the roof much easier on both sides. I can reach over 3.5 feet with my wingspan from the center and then from the end as well. So I'm in much better shape than I was with that first piece that I just took off. The other ones will go quicker now that I see how I put it together several years ago. So I'm going to call it a day for the moment and do some inside chores, and then I'll be back tomorrow to work on this most likely. So I'll get to cleaning up and we'll do some more tomorrow. Well, I took the roof off in segments. It came down in 4 big pieces, which was what I planned, but well, this is day 2. It's a bit of a cloudy day, but I'm gonna keep working on tearing down the old shed. You can see behind me, I've gotten most of the covering off. I got the roofing panels off in 4 pieces, which kind of went according to plan. It was a little bit more work than I thought. I actually put them up there a little more sturdier than I thought, so it took a little extra effort to get them down. But I'm going to work on tearing this down and breaking down these poles until there's nothing left over there, and then I'll move the other shed in when I get. So let's get to work. That could have been a lot worse. Pretty quick work. One shed down and another to go. Hopefully this one won't fall on my head. Well, it only took me a second to figure out that it probably is going to land on my head, so I did something different. I just took down part of it on one side and got it to a more manageable height so I'm not reaching up above my head. And if it still falls on my head, it'll be with less impact. it for now. That's a good bit of work. Not too difficult, not too strenuous. Just got to be methodical about it. And I know I dropped 1 or 2 nuts on the ground, and I don't know what I'm going to use this area for later on, but if I have chickens over here, they may peck through and eat some of those things. So I'm going to run through it with my magnet stick here, and it's kind of special to me. So I got this during the Boston Marathon bombing. Our team was using them to pick up shrapnel on the site, and at the end of the crime scene situation there, which took over a week or so, we were throwing out a lot of gear, and I just couldn't throw out perfectly good gear. Usually we would bleach a bunch of it, but the situation was still a little chaotic and people were tired. They decided to get new stuff for future sites, and one of the reasons you do that is because there may be residue from a prior crime scene on that. And anyway, I just bleached the heck out of it, and I hung on to it, not so much as a souvenir as that I hate to see good equipment go to waste. I mean, we recycle, reuse, make it do or do without. So I kept it, and I've used it especially for roofing jobs. You don't want those little nails hanging around. So I'm going to use it to pick up the rest of the screws. I thought I was pretty diligent putting those all the screws in a bucket and all the metal parts, but look what the magnet picks up. So it definitely is a worthwhile tool to have on a job site, that's for sure. A little strapping. It's a good tool to have, and this one just has a little more significance to me personally. Well, I got to clean up these pipes here. Twice a year we have Heavy Metal Day, which isn't really a rock band kind of thing. We put out our metal products, dishwashers and washing machines and metal items, and the town comes around and collects them if some pickers don't beat them to it. So, which is another frugal New England thing, where people go around and take metal that they can use or they can sell and get a little cash for it. So I don't mind contributing to that effort, and they'll love to pick up all this pipe here. Sometimes these jobs you could really use another set of hands, but sawhorse has helped out a little bit. Well, I've got a few other things to move around here, and in order to get my shed rolled back in here. Well, that's pretty good. I got a couple more branches to trim away, and then that tree should be ready for me to put the shed below it, so no old branches will fall through the roof. And also, we'll be ready for an owl house in the late winter. So that'll be good to see if that project works out. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone up this tree here, and it's a partially dead tree, about a third of it's still alive. And I actually girdled it, meaning I made a cut across it because I want it to die. Eventually I'm going to take it down. But I want to do another experiment and get an owl house in it and see if a family of owls will occupy it to help me with my my mouse and vole and rabbit problem next year. So I'm going to build an owl house later this winter. They nest around January to February, so I'll put an owl house up there and let them enjoy that. Hopefully they'll move in and help me with my animal problem. I didn't videotape myself cutting the branches off because I didn't want there to be a video recording of any mishaps. So, she hates when I get up on ladders. So I was up on that ladder cutting all the branches on this side of the tree so that when I put the shed over here, those branches, if they ever would fall, and they're all dead mostly, some of them will fall eventually, but those wouldn't fall on the shed. And so I'll be clearing out the debris here. You can see all the branches I got off of there. And then I'll put my sink here and my stainless steel table and everything back in the new shed, which is going to go back to back kind of to that shed over there, my neighbor's shed. Now I'm going to try to drag it into position, at least part way. I think I really probably need some help with this, but what the hell, I'll give it a shot. If I had some rollers, some fence posts, some round fence posts or logs, I could do it, but all my wood's split, so I don't have any round ones that I can find, but that would make it a lot easier. I got to get around the dead tree, which isn't going to be easy, and I've got to thread a little needle over here with the brush pile, so I'll probably get it as far as I can. I'll see what I have to do next. Well, it's in place. It's getting dark out and it's just about to rain, but a little elbow grease and some know-how, those rollers helped a bit, and now I got a brand new shed. So well, at least it's brand new to me, but that was worth the effort. Well, that's what it looks like. I shoehorned it in right between that old maple tree where I'm going to put the owl house. It would have been easier if I cut that down and took the stump out, but it fit right in there, 10 feet wide between that and the property line. So I think we're okay for now. Well, that shed there looks great, and it just shoehorned in there with a little ingenuity and some elbow grease. I was able to get it in there. It's going to rain any minute now, so I'm going to throw all this gear in there, and my lawnmower, wheelbarrow, ladders, and everything else I can chuck in there. So this is Scott from the XFed Homestead. This project's done. We'll see you next time.